Hello and welcome to the Women's Network. I'm Elke and I am your host. I want to invite you to a wonderful show today. It's going to be very exciting, very informative, and we will have a lot of great information for you. And because of that information, I urge you, before you settle down, get yourself pencil and paper, because we have a lot of stuff for you to write down, a lot of good information, something you need to know because you want to participate.
Absolutely.
Okay, and with that in mind, let me get right to the point. Today we want to talk about something that not only concerns us, but something we all like to do. We like to eat. We want to talk about food. We like to drink, or for those of you who like to drink, we want to talk about wine. We want to talk about music and entertainment and charity events and so much more. So before I go on and on and on, I would like to introduce you to my wonderful guest who is so involved in life. I have her resume and I couldn't read it to you in a few hours. So I thought best thing is for me to introduce you to my guest, and she will just tell you all sorts of wonderful things. First of all, she's so involved that she's a designer, she's a restaurateur, she's involved in charity events, she's a fundraiser, philanthropic support to, God, I'm getting all confused. So why I want to introduce you to Barbara Lazaroff. Barbara,
Well,
sorry for getting so confused.
But what's interesting is it was so fascinating to realize we had met so many years ago. What, in 92?
92.
Yes, at a political event.
The year of the woman.
Absolutely.
And it was fabulous.
It was an amazing, amazing year with so much hope and promise, wasn't it?
And when I read all the many involvements you're involved in, you are so involved with women.
Absolutely.
And when I saw the tape just by accident the other day, I said, I have to bring it and show you. But
well, I love all peoples, of course, but I have 2 young sons, but I have 24 goddaughters.
Oh.
But I really think that when a woman becomes successful, when you have the opportunity to become educated and work along in a business and prosper, it's our responsibility to sort of lean over that ladder
Right.
and help another young woman up those steps. So I'm involved in Big Sisters, I'm involved in Women Chefs and Restaurateurs, which I founded 15 years ago. I'm speaking in a few weeks. Many other organizations. I was involved in the original Hollywood Women's Political Organization, and many, many more. I think it's very essential.
You said it, it's very essential, because I'm looking over the tape. That was almost 16 years ago or something like
Yes.
that. And we have come such a long way.
And we still have a long way to go.
A long way to go. So let's get on with our subject for today. And that's, like I said, it's food, wine, entertainment, charity events, and
Absolutely.
so on. We have coming up
The American Wine and Food Festival, benefiting Meals on Wheels, which is an organization that's been around for many, many years. This is our 26th event, a fabulous, energetic, spirited event with extraordinary chefs and vintners, wonderful entertainment on the Universal Backlot on September 27th. We have about 2,500 people that attend, and yet it's never really crowded because we have so many food stations and so many wine stations. And in fact, our American Wine and Food Festival is the template for all of the food and wine festivals that you see around the United States. In fact, the City Meals on Wheels event that Gail Green started many years ago, she ventured out to California to see ours. And so all of those fun Taste of LA events and all of those are based on this concept. And
who are some of the you whet my my appetite.
The
who
original.
are some of the originals?
Oh goodness, we had our restaurants, of course, Spago. We had Valentino. We had Paul Prudhomme, who smoked up the entire area with his Cajun cuisine. But it was in the back, our back parking lot of Spago Hollywood, not our Spago Beverly Hills, and it was up on a huge incline, so everybody had shin splints at the end of the day in a tent we constructed, which is why it filled with smoke. And it was a riotous event, but we didn't really know how to generate sponsorship and whatever. So my former husband and I still partner. Wolfgang Puckett and myself, we wrote a check for $3,500 out of our personal account to give some money. Now, years later, we're netting close to $1 million a year with our event, and we have extraordinary sponsors like Audi and MasterCard.
Oh, how wonderful.
We have Southern California Gas, Sempra Energy is the parent company. We have an extraordinary meat company. I'm going to have to check my little, so I made a little crib sheet
That's
today.
Great.
Because I was a little concerned that I would leave anybody out.
We want to know as much as you can give us.
Pure blue meats out of Australia, and of course the wonderful Fiji waters. We have many other sponsors. These are our big main sponsors, and without these sponsors and all the generosity of the chefs and the vintners who pour wine, and all of the sponsors as Mansour Travel and some of the hotels that house the chefs, we could never garner this amount of funds for such a wonderful, worthy cause.
The cause.
The cause. These elderly folks, senior citizens, and other homebound citizens are delivered a warm, nutritious meal every day, and very often is the only time anybody comes and touches them and sees how they are doing. It's their only human contact sometimes. And a lot of these individuals, I think sometimes people think of these charities as people who haven't worked, people that don't care, people who have not contributed to society. These are our families. These are the people that built Los Angeles and the outer areas. These are people who are tax-paying citizens who have worked for years and get to a point in their life where they really cannot sustain themselves. And what people don't understand is that most elderly people, the number one cause of death is actually malnutrition. Oh. So you have people literally sometimes eating refuse. It's terrible, or not eating at all.
Yes.
And or they're so despondent.
Yes.
They're sad, depressed. There's no family around, that they don't make an effort. So it's important to make sure they get fed. You have people who are HIV positive, who have AIDS, people who have MS, people who are wheelchair bound, who really need support. We also have people who support the organization and want their parents or grandparents to be provided with a meal and some contact. So it's a very important community service, and the funds that are raised go to St. Vincent's Meals on Wheels downtown, as well as the San Fernando Valley Interfaith Council for Meals on Wheels. It also goes to Meals on Wheels of the West and Meals on Wheels of West Los Angeles. And the funds are divided up based on need, how many meals are served a year. And we serve, they serve thousands of meals a year, tens of thousands of meals a day. And Sister Sam, we affectionately call her, Sister Alice Marie down at St. Vincent's, has an amazing kitchen there and an amazing facility. She's also built a Hotel Dieu that houses some of the most indigent people on the roll. So it's truly interfaith. It's truly about taking care and respecting one very important segment of our society, and respecting the people that gave back to this community for so many years, the elderly. And I always say that the way you know how civilized a community is how you treat your young and how you treat your elderly.
I think you just said it. And it's so important to think of it that way, because otherwise you just kind of go through life. And I want to also mention the organization is very big.
Very
and we
large.
need volunteers.
Yes.
We need donations. We need everything. And that's
Absolutely.
not easy to come by.
No.
But
especially these days, our economy is having some issues. The gas prices have gone up. It costs 3 to 4 times as much to deliver the foods. I've tried to interest the fuel companies in providing fuel to the cars that get around that deliver. A lot of these people are volunteers, and then again, St. Vincent's has its own trucks. But I do also want to say that this is a serious matter, but it is the most exciting and fun event, and people who say there's nothing to do in Los Angeles, I say, bah humbug. Because there's so many great things.
Very true.
And on Saturday night, September 27th, you can go to Universal Studios, the back lot, and you can partake of 40 different chefs, great chefs from all over the United States and out of the United States as well, and 75 vintners, and 5 bands we're having that evening. And for $300 a person, or you can call up and go to our website and buy a table. But for merely that amount of money, you can have thousands of dollars worth of food. And for people who will never have the opportunity, let's say, to go to New York or to go to Hawaii or to go out of the country to Robichon in Paris, you have an opportunity to partake of all these extraordinary chefs and vintners and have the most wonderful fun time.
Well, I tell you what, I cannot wait to go.
Yes,
and I want to talk to my audience for a moment. We are here with Barbara Lazaroff, co-founder of a great event, the American Food and Wine Festival, which will come up in September 21st?
September 27th, Saturday evening.
And we all can participate. So that's why I wanted you to write things down. September 27th, American Food and Wine Festival, right here in our lovely city at the Universal Backlot. Also, you can get involved, so don't shy away from that, because volunteers are always needed for all sorts of activities. And we have a little clip, so maybe we can have Barbara lead us in or talk over our clip and see what we're talking about. I tell you, I was there last year and I had so much fun.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to miss it. Plus, I couldn't eat for a couple of days. So if you go, don't eat for a while.
Okay, well, we're about to see a clip of our 25th American Wine and Food Festival for Meals on Wheels. This was last year's event, and this got cut very quickly because it's a very long event. I think we have about 2 minutes, and it's going to be so much fun for everyone to see this.
Oh, great. If we are ready.
Welcome to the 25th American Wine and Food Festival, benefiting Meals on Wheels. It's just such a fun event. You're going to get to meet some of the greatest chefs in the country, some of the finest vintners. There's Paul Prudhomme. We're going to eat and taste. I have to do the eating and tasting for you because, you know, you just have to come to the event if you want to experience it. So we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We're off. Wolfgang was doing a food tasting and presentation of making food with Paul Prudhomme. We're running around to the various chefs. As you can see, Lydia Shire from Boston is coming this year, as well as Jasper White and Mario Capone from Scampo. Susan Spicer was last year. Todd English from Olives. This year we have Nobu Matsuhisa, Roy Yamaguchi, Stephen Piles from Texas. We have Lee Hefter from our Spago restaurant, Sam Choi from Hawaii, Mark Peel from Campanile, Nancy Silverton from Moza. We have Dean Faring from Dallas and Sam Mason of Taylor.
Perfect name for it. So this is 2004.
If you really want to get smashed, you can just come over here. But don't drive home.
We are at Cobblestone Vineyards. Thank you again for being here.
Happy to be back.
We have Cafe Annie, Robert Del Grande from Houston. Now, this is the Saturday night event, and not to confuse the viewers, but we also have a Friday night event over at Red 7 at the Pacific Design Center, our restaurant there, and we're having all types of meat that night from the our two restaurants Cut, and from meat from the Montage, from Lowry's. We have wonderful craft restaurant there, and our dear friend Govan, who started in our kitchens at Spago at age 12, turned Table 8 into a really high-end hamburger place called Table 8 Ounce, and he's going to be there Friday night at the Pacific Design Center. And that's a lower ticket. That's $150, so you younger folks can come and get involved. So as you can see, there's Matt Bensabanga, there's Bella from Chinois. Fabulous food. This year we're serving from Chinois, Maine, stir-fried garlic chicken with crispy onions in a buttercup, in a lettuce buttercup, and grilled Mongolian cilantro lamb chops. How delicious. And Spago is serving breast of duck with spicy Szechuan green beans, and Cut is serving grilled ribeye and Maine lobster with Italian white truffles. There's Sherry Yard, our fabulous pastry chef. That's Sam Choi from Hawaii. You know, they always say never trust a skinny chef. Well, you can trust Sam. Those were the fabulous cheesecake pops from David Burke and Donatella in New York City. I love David's restaurant. That's one of our sponsors, Patron. It's such a fun event. And if you really, we're having fun there. We had some fabulous Cirque du Soleil sort of performers last year for the 25th, and it was wild. We had so much fun. We had a great deal of fun.
Won't you follow us this way?
Sunday night, if you really want a gourmet experience, you can come visit us at Spago for the Chef's Grand Tasting. And there we have Eric Ripar of Le Bernardin in New York. That's a culinary experience. And Joel Robichon from Paris, and Jose Andre, and Nobu of Matsuhisa. We have fabulous desserts also. We have Francois Paillard coming, Elizabeth Faulkner, of course Sherry Yard, Stanton Ho at the Perrier Jouet Lounge. They're doing a band and fabulous desserts. Of course, we're having 5 bands Saturday night, so if you don't like some of the music, you can try out the rest of it. As you can see, this is just so much fun. It's for a really important cause, but boy, it is. There's Wolf and Nobu, and there's Sister Sam.
Come nice and early so she can sit in the sun and get a tan.
Oh, wonderful.
Fabulous. We have stars come. We have fabulous community involvement.
What an event!
It is a
You
great,
really
fabulous
don't want to
event.
miss it, because it's not just food and wine, like I said earlier, but it's entertainment.
Absolutely.
Plus, you have a silent auction.
Yes, a fabulous.
Talk about silent auction.
Well, we have extraordinary trips to exotic places included in the silent auction. We also have very rare wines that can at affordable prices. People are bidding against each other. We have cookware. We have jewelry. It's really fantastic.
I don't want to run out of time, so I want
I
to make
know.
sure you get it all in. But just for the silent auction, it's worth coming.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like it
For the
takes my
price
breath
of a
away.
ticket, you can go home with a trip to Europe, a trip to the wine country, some destination that you've always wanted to go to, and at a very reasonable price. And fabulous. For those wine connoisseurs out there, what incredible finds. And for those people who like a bit of jewelry like myself, you find wonderful things.
So, like I said, you have something for everyone.
Absolutely.
But that's not all. You also have a dessert table.
Oh, as I mentioned,
So be careful.
be very careful. But you know, as you did not eat for a couple of days afterwards. You can even go off your diet for this, because I think it's important to partake in what a great cause for Meals on Wheels. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful thing. But yes, Sherry's doing it, and Paillard is one of the most famous French pastry chefs that has a fabulous, fabulous place in New York City. But once again, here's an opportunity to say you've been everywhere by only going one place.
Yes,
You can say
yeah,
you've
yeah,
experienced all of that.
exactly.
Yes, last year Sherry made our 25th anniversary cake out of cupcakes. It just went all the way up.
My
This
God.
year we have the little cheesecake pops. We have fabulous ice creams and sorbets, all kinds of incredible compotes and things that they make. Just so scrumptious, so decadent.
Yeah.
The whole evening's a little bit decadent.
Well, if you want to taste a little something very unusual.
And an opportunity for some of those foodies out there to meet some of the chefs they've always wanted to meet.
Yes, yes. I want to meet some of the chefs, because sometimes when I go to certain restaurants and it's so delicious, and I just want to know who is behind all of this.
Absolutely.
And
who put all that love and
Exactly.
talent and energy into preparing,
And the preparation, just
Your
that
meal.
alone. I mean, you're not just a chef.
Bringing you so
you're
much
a
joy,
designer.
right?
You're a designer.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And also, when you eat something, not only the taste, but when you see it on your plate.
so important.
And if it's not designed right on your plate, I mean, I hate to say it, sometimes you go places and they just push it all on one plate, and you don't even want to eat.
Well, I always say you dine with your eyes first. It's one of the
Exactly.
reasons I'm a restaurant designer. I think from the moment you're greeted on the phone and then you
Exactly.
walk into a space, it's like bringing somebody into your home. Every element matters.
Well, also, you mentioned earlier, we've met before. Well, I've met you a few times in your restaurants. And just that whole ambiance, and you would come around very graciously and greet the guests. I always found that so inviting, and it just made my whole evening so much nicer. And I can tell, again, I'm glad you took that tape, because even when I was there, the ambience at the festival is so inviting and so warm and wonderful that you feel good.
Everyone feels comfortable.
And for those of you who haven't made up their mind, and I know you will during this months to come, you just really need to try it, because let me tell you, you've got to be 21, unfortunately, because we have certain laws and we need to
the alcohol,
that.
because we have alcohol in an open situation.
Lots of alcohol, as the title implies.
Bring a designated driver.
Bring a designated driver.
I believe in that very strongly.
You don't want to miss it. But the good thing is everything goes to charity, and we all want to be involved in that. And like I said, we always, for the future, we need more volunteers. We need you to come and see it, because you definitely will not be disappointed. It's a wonderful weekend. If you can't come Friday, you may be able to come Saturday. If not Saturday, you may be able to come Sunday, or even all 3 days. It's a whole weekend of eating and having fun. And
I will also want to say, if somebody out there is a company who wants to help sponsor, please let us know quickly. We also, it's the first year we're running ads in our journal book without having to buy a table. You might want to say something about your grandmother or one of your children, or honor somebody in the journal. It's a great way of raising funds for a worthy cause. But once again, this is going to a great place, and most of the funds get there. That goes right to serve the meals. But I do have to say, you have the most wonderful time doing it. You feel great about the cause, but you just have the most miraculously enlightening and fun evening with music and dance. There's dancing and all of those opportunities to meet great chefs and the wonderful vintners. And there's no cap on anything. You pay one price and you can dine as much as you want.
That's why bring your driver, bring your
designated
someone
driver
to take you home. But I'm getting so hungry. Let's just.
I should have. I did. I made a mistake. I should have brought you cookies. I usually bring people cookies. I'm sorry.
Next year. What's in the future for you? What are you working on now?
Well, actually, I just signed with Evolution Production Company for a TV show. So we've been out this past number of months doing that. So I won't mention other stations, but we've been to many, and that's also a cuisine design, food-related show with mentoring, because I do a lot of mentoring in the work I do with young women and men, and the various ways I help other companies, and that's the basic idea for the show without revealing too much. But it's going to be very informative, a little bit wacky, because that's the way TV is this day.
Good.
And I certainly don't need I told them they don't have to provide me with a wardrobe. I have lots of clothes. And we'll be actually designing, building restaurants. We'll be helping people in terms of understanding what the public wants in terms of food, the demographics, understanding.
Very inspiring.
But fun. Yeah. But also fun and informative. I'm also working on the Aviva House for Abused Girls. I'm redesigning that. A lot of other charity work. And I just got back from Russia. My birthday was August 1st. It was the total eclipse of the sun.
I hope you tasted a lot of the good Russian food.
I actually went to some very special restaurants, and my younger son was very impressed. But the total solar eclipse was an amazing experience. And next year will be the longest one in the history of the century, so I might go to China for that. And I went to...
Well, see, in your case, you can always, because you always need to eat.
Yes.
And you can always combine everything with tasting the wonderful food that we have all over the world.
Absolutely.
And that's what's so nice about the festival, because we, like you said earlier, we have so many different kinds of food.
Well,
we have 1 minute. So
okay, I just want to say that one of the most important things in life is we break bread. We share our memories, our emotions, our celebrations over the table. And that's so important for these folks as well. And when that continuity is cut and there's nobody to share a meal or to understand the importance of providing a meal, that very important, profound element of life, that spark, is gone. And I believe we are a continuum from our birth to our passing, and we should support that. How better to
Exactly.
do it than the wonderful fun event. So we hope to see everybody at the American Wine and Food Festival for Meals on Wheels at the back lot at Universal Studios, or on the Friday night at Pacific Design Center at Red 7, or at Spago on Sunday night. You are a delight. Thank you for letting us come and it's so nice to see you again.
I wanted to thank you, Barbara. It was
After
terrific.
so many years.
I know, and I wanted to
You
keep
shouldn't
that
have stayed
as
away from me that long.
You were wonderful.
Thank you.
So inspiring. So
Thank
much
you so
information. I
much.
mean, it's and I know the event is great.
Oh, fun.
So you couldn't have said the last few words any better, because that is usually my last question. What do you have to say that's inspiring for our viewers out there? But we have to now, unfortunately,
Food and
come
love.
to an end. And one more word to my viewers. I hope you can join us, because we promise a good time. So call the number at the end of the screen, go to the website, and I will give you all sorts of information, and then you can go and have fun and join Barbara and a host of chefs and people in the...
And Joan Reed, our fabulous director, is got her number there on the website. If you have any other questions, she's done a remarkable job. I'll personally kiss you. If you say you saw it on Elke's show, you come over to me and say,
Okay.
I'm going to give you a big hug.
Okay.
I
Barbara,
love you, Elke.
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank
It
you.
was wonderful.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, until we see you again, bye-bye.
Bye.